a better place. I like Canada. I was born here. I recently got a chance to spend some time in Guelph. Does anybody here ever go to Guelph? No? Okay, one? Two? Nobody else for the Queen City? Or it has like one of those names for it, like, the Buckingham Bucket or something. Guelph is a nice city. I don't spend a lot of time there anymore. I used to. When I was a teenager, I had loved and lost in Guelph. I drank a lot. I had some great friends. I still have great friends there. I don't spend a lot of time in Guelph now because all my friends' wives hate me. That's not funny. That's terrible. Hate isn't good. They hate me. This is every one of my Guelph friends having a conversation with their wives. And their wife goes, "Hey, I was thinking we should have a barbecue or like a cookout. We could have people over." "That'd be great. Hey, maybe Ryan can come." "No, let's not have a cookout at all. Let's eat Cheetos in the basement with the door locked. He's awful." They hate me, and I'm okay with that. But I recently got a chance to spend some time in Guelph because my mom moved there. She bought a condo, and I went over to visit her because she's old and afraid of change. So I went to visit her. It's terrible. And she's going to hear that too. It's really, but anyway, she's old and scared and needs rides downtown. I went to visit my mom in her condo, and I was there for 4 minutes, and she has all these pictures of people who died. And so her house is like a sepulcher, or it's like a memorial. It's just people that are about to die or to die. And all her conversations are like, "Oh, do you remember that aunt that you met once?" "Yes, dead." "Oh, okay. Oh, that's terrible." "Mama, it's not, we're eating." So she was telling me about people that had weird diseases, and I was like, "Oh, fuck, I gotta get out of here." And I remember my wife wanted to get a hot water bottle. Because we don't have one. She's like, "We gotta have a hot water bottle." "Sure." "Hey, Mom, you live down the street from Stone Road Mall. Let's go to Stone Road Mall." She was like, "Yay, an adventure." So we got in my little Yaris and drove down the street to Stone Road Mall. And she's like, "That's good that we're here because I have to do some shopping too." I was like, "Great, what do you have to shop for?" She goes, "Well, 2 of my grandchildren are getting baptized next week." I'm like, I didn't know what to buy people for a baptism, like a shower cap, I don't know, so the water doesn't take, I'm like, what do you mean? You don't have to buy people things for baptism. She goes, "Well, I want to buy them a Bible." I'm like, "Really? They're kids." Like, she goes, "A Bible." All right, fine, fuck it. And Jen had to go buy a hot water bottle because she wanted one. So she went to go do that. I took my mother to Chapters. In Stone Road Mall in Guelph is kind of a conundrum for me because it used to be a great mall. It used to have a theater and weird stores, and now it just sells purses and cell phones. It's a fucking terrible mall. It's terrible. But they have a huge Chapters. You know, like when you see those bookstores, you're like, wow, it's a really big Chapters. That's what I do when I go in. Just so the sales staff leave me, wow! They got a word for everything. So I said, okay, let's go to the religious section, where I know where it is because I spend a lot of time in bookstores because I like books more than people. And we go to the religious section. And my mom goes, "This one looks good." I'm like, "Yeah, it's okay." So I grabbed a Bible, I flipped it open, I started reading from Leviticus. Leviticus is a book in the Bible where they outlaw sex laws, who you're not supposed to have sex with, and why. And I'm reading this out loud to my mother. It's like, you shouldn't sleep with your aunt, you shouldn't sleep with your uncle, you shouldn't sleep with your daughter. Like, they had to be told that. At the end of Leviticus, there's a verse about buying slaves. how much a person is worth, how much a child is worth, how much an old person is worth. And my mother started getting dismayed, so I flipped ahead, just to torture her, and I started reading from the book of Job. The book of Job is a book in the Bible where God and the devil make a bet to see how much punishment they can give a guy before he curses God. God kills his family, covers him with boils, and the devil's like, double or nothing! And God's like, okay, you're on. And I'm reading this out loud to my mother, and she's like, oh, let's go. And then I flipped ahead to the Revelation of John, which is the last book of the New Testament, in which giant monsters come to the earth and they start eating the earth, and oh, we're going to eat the earth. And I'm reading these chapters of the Bible to my mother, and my mother says, this book's not appropriate for children. And she's right. The Bible is not appropriate for children. It's full of fucking torture and death and madness and sad small Jews getting killed. And she's right. And I said, you're right. This book isn't appropriate for children. And she goes, well, maybe I'll get them a comic book instead. So I talked my mother out of buying a Bible for her grandchildren because it's inappropriate for children, and I've never been more proud of the senile bat. I was like, you're good, Mom. And I patted her on the head, and we're going to get a treat later. So we bought some comic books, it's Spider-Man or something, I don't know. And then I said, but I started thinking about it, there should be a warning on the Bible. Because there's a warning on movies, right? If you have a CD with foul language, if you have a movie with graphic torture in it, not appropriate for children, right? Video games say mature, movies say rated R. I think it's time we put a rating on the Bible, because that should really only be for adults. Maybe I'm wrong. But I was so proud of my little mom. We bought her comic books, we took her back to her house, and I dropped her off because I don't like staying at her house because it's depressing, but I had to use the bathroom. So I was like, Mom, can I use your bathroom? She's like, sure you can, maybe you'll stay for dinner. No, just a piss. So I went inside, and I'm using her toilet. It's a condo, so the bathrooms are small, because people live in condos, they're on the move, they're hit. On her toilet tank, my mom has that flip mirror, where it's the round one, and on one side everything looks big, and on the other side everything looks small. So I'm watching my penis while I'm peeing, and I'm like, big penis, oh little penis, big penis, little penis, NBA, China, and it was, racism's fun, and so I was like, playing that. And then she had that other bathroom mirror that's my favorite, where you have the single panel in the middle, and then the two panels on the side. And then I like to turn the panels in and do the theme to Doctor Who. I go, because it looks like your head is flying through space, and there's a million heads flying at you. And I'm standing in her bathroom going, and then I realized maybe that's why Guelph wife's friends hate me, because I do that in bathrooms a lot. If they have, and so, you know, they've been having a dinner and sitting at their table like, he's been in there a few minutes. Well, he's here. So I'm thinking maybe that's why Guelph friends' wives don't want me over.